I want to go in a little bit into some of the top lessons here, just some of the ideas that you may want to consider. Really the book is focused on market creation. It's not about imitating, it's about creating. They talk about market share as a lagging indicator. It's all based on past performance. Really, the companies that are making blue ocean shifts are focused on value innovation and value improvement. They create a true leap in value. Past performance, some of the examples they gave in there about lagging indicators. Apple brought out the iPhone. Who would have thought that BlackBerry, who by far was a dominant player in the industry, if you used market share as an investment, I'm going to invest in BlackBerry, well, it was the wrong investment. Apple and their iPhone brought in value innovation, and it was a true leap in value. So just a quick lesson there. When it comes to the employees, they stress, the people must be part of the process. If they've been involved with the process, they understand why you want to make this shift or these changes. And there's true buy-in to lead, and they understand that this is the right thing to do. Now, another lesson in here was experiencing what your customers experience. Not at a high level. I mean, a really down-to-earth, gritty experience. They gave an example of a pharmacy. They had all the executives in there, and they're all in a meeting, and the CEO's asking, I need one volunteer. And finally, one of them raises their hand reluctantly. Question was about what's it like being sick, calling off sick, or whether you stay at work. So these people go in, and they all follow them back to their house, and this person has to pretend to be sick. Well, then they make them call a doctor, set up an appointment, and everybody's in there with them at the doctor's appointment. Even though they really weren't sick, the CEO wanted them to experience everything. So they continue to walk through that process. Not only stop there, but also, even though they didn't get a prescription, what would we have to do next? Call in to the pharmacy, and what all the hassles are. Well, this starts at like 8:30 in the morning, and they don't finish until like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Then they get back in a meeting. But that's the buy-in, really understanding what people go through when they go to a pharmacy. They had everyone live through that. And then so they decided that's where the idea of like the minute clinics came from and everything. It was a blue ocean shift. How much time could we save people if they just went to the pharmacy, saw a nurse practitioner there? I will tell you that the book goes into much more detail, but I'm just giving you a kind of a topical view of this. So another lesson is, really, you got to look across your industry and really understand why someone chooses your industry over another. So one of the examples that they gave in the book is, why does somebody choose to have an electrician come to their house? Or why does someone go to a hardware store and do it themselves? What are the trade-offs people make? Also, another lesson in the book is how to create trends versus keeping up with them, and how that puts you in a much stronger position. So really, you want to be creating trends rather than following. Another lesson from the book is that many of the blue ocean companies hire for attitude and values rather than experience or education. So they want people that have the right attitude and the right value that are really focused on their customers. So that's, in my experience as well, is so important to have people that really care about your customers and, care about your customers' experience. Another lesson is when launching a blue ocean strategy, you start small, then go fast and wide. So in the Citizen M example, as I was talking about earlier, what they ended up doing was they researched it in 2007. 2008, they came out with one location. They refined it, made sure they got that working perfect. And then next, they opened a second location, did some more refining, and then they just started going and launching these all over the place. What a lot of people do is when they come out with a new idea or a new strategy is they just start wide. They release it to everybody. Well, what happens when you release that to everybody is those little errors that if it was just one location get magnified over all the locations. So if you're somebody working with 500 locations and you launch something and there's little issues, you're getting phone calls from 500 different places. But if you would have fixed all those, put all the processes and all that in place beforehand, before you took it wide, you would have been much better off and you have a much higher success rate. So those are really powerful lessons. So, why do you want to buy the book Blue Ocean Shift? And I recommend everybody that's listening do that because it is, as I said earlier, a powerful book. I really got a lot out of it and really has me looking at things differently. So, the authors provide a step-by-step detailed action plan to create your own Blue Ocean Shift. So, the first step is just get started. Step 2, understand where you are now. Step 3, imagine where you can be. Step 4, find how to get there. And step 5, make your move. Sounds pretty easy. A lot more involved in that, obviously. But what's great is they provide tools, templates, all that kind of stuff to really walk you through this step by step. So if you're serious about creating a shift and you use the tools in this book, your success rate is going to be much higher. And they even give you the downside of some of these things. So, the things to look out for, because a lot of people, when trying to implement a Blue Ocean Shift, will miss some of these things or jump to conclusions or jump to assumptions. They teach you how to verify that your thoughts are right and that you're making the correct actions and that this will happen. Some of the tools that are provided. So they have the Pioneer Migrator Settler Map. And what this does is helps you identify areas where the biggest blue ocean opportunities are in your industry. And obviously, everybody wants to know where the biggest blue ocean opportunities are within their industry. You've got the Strategy Canvas, and this helps you see what everyone in the industry competes on. What I've seen in my career is majority of companies are Me Too companies. And what you got to focus on is differentiating yourself. Then they've got the Buyer Utility Map, which helps you identify customer pain points. And as a salesperson, you hear about pain all the time, but this looks at it differently. It really focuses on how do I remove the pain? I'm the least painful of these options. I'm better than these companies at it. But what the Blue Ocean strategy does and what the Buyer Utility Map does is takes it so you can identify those things and question the industry norms. How do I remove the pain points completely? And why do we make customers settle? Because, everybody in one industry may have to deal with a certain issue. Well, what happens if we remove that certain issue? Does it really need to be there? But it's become the industry norm, so everyone just goes with it. So what that does is just help you find the pain points and remove them so you're actually a much more user-friendly product. They also go into the 3 tiers of non-customers and how to identify them. It's the soon-to-be non-customer, refusing non-customer, and the unexplored non-customer. And every industry has all 3 of those. They also have the 6 Paths framework, which provides structure to the Blue Ocean creation. The next tool that they provide you is the 4 Actions framework. These are important. You look at these 4 things. What can you eliminate? What can you reduce? What can you raise? And what can you create? Those are things to help you create that blue ocean. And then the last step that they have in the process is an item that really helps you take those items, the different blue ocean opportunities you've identified, and different teams put them together, and you can focus on this and determine which way to go, which one of the blue ocean opportunities to pursue, or maybe you decide during that step to combine them. And that's what they call the Blue Ocean Fair. So it's just something to help you take the items and grow with it. Now, I will tell you that the Blue Ocean Shift was a fantastic read, really, really helpful, and I'm going to be going through all of those steps multiple times. And as I read this, ideas were going off in my head the whole time. It really, opened up my mind to different opportunities and the way I envision a blue ocean now. I guess how a blue ocean really works if you do it right, it's almost like a riptide. You've got the ocean. Everyone's competing in the waves. The riptide is just something that popped in my head on how to describe this. So everyone's fighting the wave. They're just in there in the bloody red ocean, just fighting. Well, if you create a blue ocean, what happens is it's like the blue ocean that where the riptide would be in this metaphor is that the riptide will pull you out into that blue ocean quickly. So if you find a way not to have to fight in the wave, not have to compete against the people directly head to head with a Me Too product, that you do something that's value creating in the industry, it'll just pull you out into a blue ocean and you get past the entire red ocean and it opens up and it just gives you a massive opportunity. Really, the blue ocean and the Blue Ocean Shift is about finding new market. And with that said, I would just recommend that each of you go out and get the book. I do have a link to the book down below over on Amazon. I hope you've enjoyed this book review and you found it useful. I also hope that you subscribe to my channel on YouTube. Why Buy From You is dedicated to finding the reasons people buy. Focus on sales, marketing, and branding. Focused on the reasons people buy.